Conor versus Logan Paul.
Is that supposed to happen?
Ariel Helwani says it's actually quite easy to make happen considering WWE and UFC are under the same banner.
I don't go with Logan. I'm going to go with Conor.
There have been discussions surrounding a potential fight between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul, with Ariel Helwani mentioning that it's easy to make this happen given that WWE and UFC are under the same umbrella. However, there's some confusion as McGregor's opponent is Logan Paul, not Jake Paul, who many originally expected him to fight. Logan Paul is the larger of the two brothers. The fight, reportedly set to take place in India, is rumored to offer each fighter a staggering $250 million, which is more than the combined purses of boxing champions Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. McGregor hinted at the fight recently, teasing both the hefty paydays and the potential location at Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. His last appearance in combat sports was at UFC 264, where a leg injury forced him to withdraw from his fight with Dustin Poirier, leading to a hiatus. Although McGregor was expected to return to the UFC in June 2024 to fight Michael Chandler at UFC 303, an injury to his toe delayed that comeback. Now, McGregor has teased his fight with Logan Paul and shared that it would take place in Mumbai, India, with both fighters set to earn $250 million each from the event. This news was further confirmed by McGregor's post on social media, which was picked up by media outlets. Despite the excitement, some fans are disappointed, noting that the fight isn't with Jake Paul, as initially speculated. The massive paydays for McGregor and Paul suggest the involvement of a high-profile backer, Mukesh Ambani, a prominent Indian billionaire with an estimated net worth of $120 billion. His son, Anand Ambani, is reportedly behind the push for this fight. While many fans have expressed excitement, others are critical of the matchup, calling it a clown show and saying it's beneath McGregor's legacy. One fan, who had supported McGregor since 2012, said they would stop following him if this fight went ahead. Another fan expressed disappointment, comparing McGregor's potential fight with Logan Paul to his previous bout with Floyd Mayweather, calling it a step too far. Despite the criticism, it seems that many are still intrigued and plan to watch the fight if it comes to fruition. The anticipated fight between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul has sparked a variety of reactions from fans and analysts alike. While many are intrigued by the spectacle of such a matchup, others express frustration over McGregor's decision to fight a YouTuber rather than a top-tier mixed martial artist or boxer. The situation has also raised questions about McGregor's future in the UFC and the motive. The major selling point of this fight, however, is the incredible financial potential for both fighters. The rumored purse of $250 million each for McGregor and Logan Paul is far beyond what most athletes in the combat sports world typically earn. To put this into perspective, this figure is more than the combined purses of heavyweight champions Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. The sheer scale of this amount naturally leads to speculation that a high-profile backer with deep pockets is behind the event. That figure is said to be Mukesh Ambani, the Indian business magnate and owner of Reliance Industries. Motivation behind this lucrative deal. Conor McGregor, the former UFC featherweight and lightweight champion, has been out of action since 2021 after suffering a catastrophic leg injury in his fight against Dustin Poirier at UFC 264. This injury forced McGregor to take a significant hiatus from the sport. In June 2024, McGregor was scheduled to return to the UFC in a highly anticipated fight against Michael Chandler at UFC 303. However, just weeks before the event, McGregor was forced to withdraw due to a fractured pinky toe. Fans and analysts were left wondering about the Irishman's future and whether he would ever step back into the octagon. In the interim, McGregor has been focusing on a potential boxing match against Logan Paul, a popular YouTuber-turned-boxer. However, as the news of the fight broke, many fans found themselves confused and disappointed. McGregor had initially been linked to a showdown with Jake Paul, Logan's younger brother. Yet reports revealed that the fight would be against Logan Paul instead. This mix-up led to several fans questioning McGregor's choice of opponent, especially considering his high-profile past in UFC and his long career at the top of mixed martial arts. Mukesh Ambani, ranked as the 9th wealthiest individual globally by Forbes, has a net worth estimated at around $120 billion. His family is one of India's richest, with Mukesh Ambani's son, Anand Ambani, holding a reported net worth of $40 billion. The Ambani family's involvement in this event is seen as a strategic move to bring the fight to India, where the popularity of combat sports has been growing. While McGregor and Logan Paul would certainly generate international interest, the Ambanis are reportedly keen on making this a spectacle with a massive impact in India. The younger Ambani, Anand, reportedly expressed a desire to bring Jake Paul into the mix rather than his older brother Logan due to Jake's higher profile and potential to bring even more attention to the event. However, despite these ambitions, the fight between McGregor and Logan Paul seems to have become the focal point. Many fans were initially skeptical, especially those who had been following McGregor's career closely. Some feel that McGregor's decision to enter the ring with a YouTuber like Logan Paul rather than a legitimate fighter or boxer is a step down from his previous legacy. Fans on social media have expressed disappointment, with one user even commenting, "I can't believe McGregor is going to fight Logan Paul," instead of Jake Paul, reflecting the growing sentiment that McGregor might be opting for a quick payday rather than a meaningful contest. Some fans, however, are concerned about McGregor's mindset and motivations. One fan wrote, "I'm having a hard time taking him seriously now. It seems like he's more focused on the money than on his UFC career." This sentiment echoes a wider concern McGregor's true love for the sport might be diminishing. Another fan questioned whether McGregor would ever return to the UFC after this fight, especially given that he's unlikely to sustain significant injury in an exhibition fight. There's a growing belief that McGregor's future in the UFC is uncertain, and that he may prefer to chase the substantial earnings offered by exhibition matches instead. The backlash is not confined to the fans. Many analysts are also questioning McGregor's legacy and what this fight might mean for his career. Some believe that McGregor's involvement in such a high-profile yet. Meanwhile, some combat sports analysts speculate that McGregor might be trying to secure his future by diversifying into a new type of spectacle. The Ambani family's involvement could make this a groundbreaking event in terms of international sports entertainment, potentially opening up new markets for the UFC and boxing alike. Yet, the reaction from the combat sports community remains divided. McGregor's long-standing fans seem torn between admiration for his success and disappointment over his career choices, while casual observers view it as another clown show for entertainment purposes. The world of combat sports is abuzz with speculation as talks of a high-stakes fight between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul continue to swirl. The potential matchup, rumored to take place in India, has fans eagerly wondering how the bout might unfold, especially given their shared experience facing the legendary Floyd Mayweather. Notable figures, including Shay Ali, have weighed in on the fight, using their shared opponent to assess the situation during an episode of The Sugar Show. Ali mentioned, "Wasn't Logan and Floyd pretty close? Logan's a big guy, Floyd is the best boxer in the world, and it was somewhat close. Floyd pieced up Conor a little bit." Tim Welch, Ali's co-host, added that although Logan might appear as the more imposing figure, McGregor has noticeably bulked up since his last appearance in the ring. "We remember the old Conor, but he's solid at 185 pounds, maybe even 190, Welch said. He also noted that Logan Paul, during the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson event, weighed in at 190 pounds but wasn't as muscular as he typically looks in the WWE. Despite the size difference, Welch believes that the fight would still be competitive. Ali echoed this sentiment, saying, "I agree, I would love to see Conor come back and start someone in the UFC. If I could pick anything, I want Conor to walk out, hit someone with a left hand, and jump on the cage." If this fight were to happen, it would take place under traditional boxing rules, with Logan Paul holding the clear size advantage over McGregor. This could make things challenging for the former UFC champion, especially considering Paul's stature and strength. However, McGregor is known for his incredible dedication to training and his elite fighting skills. If there's one thing McGregor is known for, it's his ability to knock out opponents with a single, well-timed punch. Despite the size difference, McGregor's knockout power and sharp boxing instincts could level the playing field. A crucial factor in McGregor's success has been his ability to hype his fights through sharp, psychological warfare. It's not just his fighting skills that have earned him global recognition, but also his mastery of trash talk. His ability to get inside his opponents' heads with biting remarks and often humorous jabs has become legendary. Many have tried to emulate McGregor's trash-talking skills, but none have come close to replicating his unique mix of confidence, wit, and mental manipulation. This dynamic has made McGregor's fights not only exciting but unmissable events. When the fight between McGregor and Logan Paul is officially confirmed, fans can expect a barrage of verbal jabs from McGregor directed at his opponent. This will undoubtedly spark a fiery response from the Paul brothers, who are notorious for never backing down from an online confrontation. A prime example of this is Logan's past feud. In the midst of all this, McGregor's legacy as a former UFC champion and his history in the sport remains unchallenged, but it's clear that the next step in his career could define how he is remembered. Would he return to the UFC to face legitimate contenders and reclaim his titles, or will he continue his career in exhibition-style fights, capitalizing on celebrity matchups like Logan Paul and Jake Paul? Feud with McGregor's teammate Dylan Danis. Danis didn't just target Logan, he took aim at Logan's wife, Nina Adel, escalating the mental battle between the two fighters. With McGregor's ability to manipulate the narrative, it's almost certain that the build-up to this fight will be as entertaining as the fight itself. McGregor's ability to generate massive pay-per-view buys speaks volumes about his drawing power. His 2019 showdown with Khabib Nurmagomedov sold an impressive 2.4 million pay-per-view buys, while his 2017 boxing match with Floyd Mayweather shattered records with 4.3 million buys. Whether in the cage or the boxing ring, McGregor has proven time and time again that his involvement in a fight can drive incredible revenue for promoters. His ability to create hype around his bouts has made him one of the most marketable figures in combat sports history. As the world waits for the official announcement, one thing is certain: a fight between McGregor and Logan Paul would be a spectacle that captures the attention of fans and casual viewers alike. Whether it happens in India, Las Vegas, or elsewhere, the showdown between the two stars will be more about the drama and excitement surrounding the event than the actual fight itself. If McGregor and Logan Paul do face off, it will undoubtedly become one of the most talked about events in combat sports history. Conor McGregor and Logan Paul are no strangers to controversy, and the buzz surrounding their potential fight is no different. Recently, McGregor hinted at a possible matchup with Paul, but details remain scarce. The announcement left some scratching their heads as the Irish fighter's statements came out of nowhere, leaving fans to wonder about his intentions. While there has been no official confirmation or update, there are certainly compelling reasons for the fight to happen. As one commentator pointed out, unless there's something I haven't heard, I don't know what the hell Conor's talking about. Even Logan himself seems to be uncertain about the situation. Logan just had a kid, he's a girl dad, and he's locked in with his family, the commentator added. Despite the uncertainty, the allure of a McGregor vs. Paul fight remains strong, largely due to their shared qualities. Both are extremely polarizing figures in the world of combat sports. Each fighter has a fan base that is equally passionate as their detractors, and the fierce personalities of both men would make for an event that attracts attention across the globe. If the fight were to take place in India, a massive market in Asia, it could spark a financial frenzy unlike any other, much like the Tyson vs. Jake Paul bout that garnered attention worldwide. A McGregor vs. Logan Paul showdown would bring in viewers from every corner of the globe. Beyond just the fight itself, the potential event could serve as a massive marketing opportunity for both men. Conor McGregor and Logan Paul are not just successful fighters but savvy business moguls, each with a wide-reaching personal brand. Both have made significant strides in various business ventures outside the world of combat sports, which could make this event a goldmine for promotional opportunities. While the UFC may not be thrilled with McGregor's direction, the prospect of a massive payday for both McGregor and the UFC could make the fight with Logan Paul a reality in 2025. Although it's unclear whether McGregor will ever return to the UFC, the financial gains from a fight outside the promotion are undeniable, making it more likely that McGregor's next big bout will be in boxing rather than mixed martial arts. In the end, whether McGregor steps back into the UFC or fully embraces this new era of celebrity boxing remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that this potential fight with Logan Paul and possibly even Jake Paul will have far-reaching consequences, not just for McGregor's career but for the future of combat sports in India and the entertainment world at large. With deep-pocketed investors like Mukesh Ambani at the helm, the spectacle promises to draw attention, but at what cost to the legitimacy of the athletes involved? Only time will tell. Jake Paul has been vocal about his desire to fight Conor McGregor, but now insists that the only way he would consider a showdown with the UFC star is if Dana White and the UFC play a role in making it happen. Despite having challenged McGregor multiple times in the past, Jake Paul recently tweeted his thoughts on the situation, claiming that it now makes sense why McGregor and his team have been trying so hard to broker a fight between the two. Jake revealed that he and his team are only willing to explore the possibility of facing McGregor in a professional boxing or MMA match if UFC President Dana White is directly involved in the negotiations or at least gives his approval. Paul also took a shot at McGregor, saying, "Conor is washed, needs the paycheck. Logan Paul can fight him however he wants." Despite not competing in over 3 years, Conor McGregor's career in mixed martial arts remains impressive, with a 2-2-6 record since his debut in 2008. McGregor's rise in the UFC was swift, and he made an explosive debut in April 2013. He made history in 2015 by knocking out Jose Aldo in just 13 seconds to capture the UFC featherweight championship. Later that year, he made his mark on the lightweight division, claiming the title with a stunning win over Eddie Alvarez in 2016. However, McGregor's reign as a champion was brief, as both of his belts were stripped due to inactivity after he chose to pursue a high-profile boxing match with Floyd Mayweather in 2017, instead of defending his UFC titles. After his foray into boxing, McGregor returned to the UFC in October 2018 to face his fierce rival Khabib Nurmagomedov. Unfortunately for McGregor, the bout ended in a brutal fourth-round neck crank submission loss. What followed was chaos, as Khabib jumped over the cage and charged at McGregor's teammate Dylan Danis, sparking a riot in the arena. McGregor then found himself on a 2-fight losing streak, with both losses coming at the hands of Dustin Poirier. His career has been on hold ever since his devastating leg injury during their third fight in July 2021. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has been making waves in the boxing world since his 2020 debut, earning an impressive 1-1-1 record. While Jake has long been vocal about wanting to face McGregor in the ring, he's now set some conditions for the fight to happen. Jake recently took to social media stating, "Now it all makes sense why Conor McGregor and his management team have been desperately trying to get him." Recently, McGregor hinted at the possibility of fighting Logan Paul, confirming that there have been discussions about the matchup. However, it's unclear whether McGregor has fully committed to the fight or if he is merely toying with the idea. What's the latest on the Conor vs. Logan fight? Asked one insider. From what I understand, there were conversations about it a while ago, but I don't know if Conor just woke up and decided it's time to go public, they added. VP to negotiate for a fight between us. So he continued, revealing that the only way the fight would be explored would be if Dana White and the UFC were involved in the talks. The only way we're willing to explore me versus Conor in a pro boxing MMA fight is if Dana White and UFC are at the table directly, or make it clear they are okay with discussions. Despite McGregor's lack of competition in the last few years, he remains one of the most well-known figures in mixed martial arts. His history, particularly his 2 UFC titles, earned him global recognition. However, Jake Paul's insistence that McGregor is washed and only interested in fighting for the paycheck shows a stark contrast in how the two view McGregor's current state. According to Jake, McGregor is no longer the formidable force he once was, and Paul is suggesting that McGregor only wants the payday from these massive events, whether they are in boxing or MMA. As the situation continues to unfold, McGregor's future in both boxing and the UFC remains uncertain. While he has teased a return to combat sports with potential fights against Logan Paul or Jake Paul, fans are left questioning whether McGregor is still motivated by competition or if he's merely chasing the enormous financial rewards these high-profile events offer. On the other hand, Jake Paul seems intent on making this a much bigger spectacle by tying it to the UFC's presence, with Dana White being a key factor in any future talks. Jake Paul's position only adds to the speculation around McGregor's future. If Dana White and the UFC are involved, this could lead to a showdown with McGregor. However, if McGregor opts to face Logan Paul instead, the UFC's involvement will likely be absent, raising more questions about McGregor's long-term intentions in mixed martial arts. With millions of dollars on the line for both McGregor and Paul, it seems that the fight's financial incentives are just as important as the potential for legacy building in the eyes of the combat sports world. As McGregor, Jake Paul, and Logan Paul continue to stir up conversations, one thing is clear: the next chapter in McGregor's career will likely be as controversial and financially lucrative as the events surrounding him. The UFC, which McGregor helped elevate to new heights, has not shown much support for his comeback. Many believe that McGregor's future may lie outside the UFC, especially if he can strike lucrative deals elsewhere. UFC commentator Ariel Helwani recently stated that while McGregor's chances of returning to the UFC are slim, it's always possible that he could fight outside the promotion should an agreement be reached. However, it's widely accepted that McGregor's time in the UFC is likely over, and his future might be in exhibition-style bouts, like the rumored boxing match against Logan Paul. McGregor has teased a return to the boxing ring for the first time since his 2017 bout with Floyd Mayweather. If confirmed, a fight with Logan Paul would mark a huge spectacle, but not one based on the quality of the fight itself. Instead, it would be the build-up and the drama surrounding it that would draw attention. McGregor's career is now more about the spectacle and financial reward than pursuing the same level of competitive challenge he once sought in the UFC. Brown, a prominent figure in MMA commentary, said the interest in a McGregor vs. Logan Paul fight has nothing to do with the fight itself. It's about the build-up. That's where the excitement lies, the fight itself. We already know it will be ridiculous. Brown went on to clarify that McGregor's future in the UFC looks increasingly unlikely. I don't think he'll fight in the UFC again. I said it a long time ago, and I still believe it. He's been dealing with setback after setback, and it's hard to see him coming back to the octagon. The UFC may not want him back, and even if they do, the attraction now isn't about him fighting in the UFC. It's about the money he can make in these high-profile exhibition bouts. The financial aspect is crucial to McGregor's decision-making. A fight against Logan Paul, though less competitive than a UFC title bout, promises enormous financial rewards. Brown, aware of the lucrative nature of such a match, remarked, "The amount of money that could be made from a fight with Logan Paul is immense. Why would McGregor want to fight a top fighter like Islam Makhachev or Dustin Poirier when he could box a guy who's not even a pro boxer and still make a fortune?" Ultimately, Brown believes that McGregor will likely pursue a boxing match with Logan Paul rather than a return to the UFC. "I think McGregor's more likely to take the Logan Paul fight because there's so much money to be made. The UFC will still get their cut, and they'll be happy with that. It makes sense financially." The appeal of such an event, according to Brown, is not about the fight itself but the spectacle of the build-up. It's the story around the fight that will be interesting. It's the drama, the trash talk, the hype. It's not the fight we care about anymore. At this point, McGregor's life and persona are more fascinating than his performance in the cage. risk their well-being in this match, even if McGregor and Paul face off in an exhibition bout that won't prevent them from truly testing each other in the ring. This isn't a scenario where a rising star challenges a seasoned veteran on the decline. Logan Paul's significant size advantage over McGregor might tilt the odds in his favor, but underestimating the notorious would be a mistake. After all, McGregor went 10 rounds with one of the greatest boxers in history back in 2017, known for his devastating knockout power. Mystic Mac could end the fight in an instant, leaving Paul staring at the lights. Exhibition matches are often intense slugfests, though there are occasional exceptions. The showdown between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. was a thrilling spectacle, expertly promoted and delivering on its promise, with both legends displaying remarkable grit. Despite the fight ending in a draw, in contrast, Tyson's bout with Jake Paul didn't share the same energy. Despite the heavy promotion, Iron Mike appeared a shadow of his former self, while Jake seemed hesitant, holding back his punches. Unlike Jake Paul, Logan appears less driven to establish himself as a serious professional fighter. His most recent performance against Dylan Danis was quite frankly a disaster. Viewed through that lens, this fight could serve as a warm-up for both Conor McGregor and Logan Paul, offering each a lucrative opportunity to rake in significant earnings while boosting their personal brands. I would love to do a UFC fight, man. Who the hell are you going to fight, bro? Who do you want me to fight, Mike? Maybe Conor or something like that. Would have to be like right now, like straight off a binge. He's actually hungover when he shows up. Roadhouse movie promoting Conor. Yeah, man. G and Jake J, that might work. I don't know what was going on there. Oh, you know what was going on, brother? You know what was going on, brother? You know what was going on? So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.